If you've clicked on this video and are wondering what's going on, then don't worry. It'll all make sense in a moment. If you know what's going on, then welcome. Hello everyone, my name is Lorthorn, and welcome to Touhou's Little Maids. Recently acquired this property. Previous owners left it in quite a state, so just have to do a little bit of cleaning up. But onwards and inwards into the lab. And here we are, the brand new lab. Welcome everyone, once again to Touhou Little Maid mod review and showcase. What is Touhou Little Maid mod? Touhou Little Maid mod is a NPC mod that adds companion maids to the game that will help you with work, adventuring, fighting, and can be your bestest friends in the whole world to adventure and play the game of Minecraft with you. And it is based around Touhou. Well, loosely based around Touhou. A lot of the assets and ideas sort of start that way, but then it really got out of hand. And what is Touhou? Touhou is that bullet hell game I was playing earlier, which has garnered an ungodly large fan base due to the cute anime girls and just kind of how cool the game maker is and his composing music abilities, among other things. However, to get these bestest companions, to start with, you have to murder a few pesky fairies. Of course, fairies will resist being exterminated, and they will make life a bullet hell for you. But they give you power points, so we'll get these annoying little fleas down so we can gather the tasty rainbow power points they drop for us. There we go. Excellent. Now, why do we need these power points? Well, we need them to summon ourselves little maids. So let us go turn off the music here for but a moment so we can hear ourselves think. That's much better. Where were we? Yes, Touhou's Little Maids, exterminating fairies and summoning maid servants of cute anime variety. All be done in a day's work. Well, first, before we can get onto that, we must make the Hakura's Gohi, which is made with a diamond, 2 sticks, and some glowing paper. It is a weapon that deals some damage, but it doesn't deal all that much. Its true utility comes in creation and in the hands of little maids. To get ourselves little maids, though, we're going to need to build them a structure for them to come into existence. To do that, we are going to have to build ourselves the altar. Luckily, we've got a room just prepared for this. Now, the materials for the altar will be red wool and wooden logs. You fill it all up. And there you go, structure completed. And you just take your go high and click on one of the pillars in between, and you've got yourself an altar. Now that we have the altar set up, we can now summon our maid, which is the whole thing this mod is about. Fairies were a nice little starting distraction, but in reality this is all about mods, as you saw earlier in the beginning. So we want diamond, we want lapis, we want gold, we want redstone, we want coal, and finally we want some iron. Oh, look at that! We got a new life. We got a present box. But if there's a present, then where's the cake? Well, best to have some cake open and ready for when we open the box. And there we have a cute little maid. We do need to feed her cake though. And she will become our loyal maid. She's going to go pick stuff up for us and wear a cake on her head. Okay. Well, you can stay here because we have so much to talk about. And you're just a distraction. So what are maids good for besides picking stuff up for you? Well, they're really good at that, because they can get all your things for you, which is quite useful. But the maids can also do a variety of jobs. So we will go leave that one there, and we'll go into the laboratory for our maid project. Alright, so maids have a variety of tasks they can perform. One of the things that maids can do is they can fight monsters. If you give a maid a sword, and you tell her to go into attack mode, she will go monster hunting for you. They can also be assigned instead a bow for this process, and be set to shoot arrows instead at the monsters. And so you can make your maid ranged instead. That Gohai earlier, or whatever it is, the Damakiyu, she can also be assigned to used. And she will hunt monsters by shooting magic bullets at them. You don't have to have your maids do fighting jobs, you can also make them do domestic work, such as farming. If they have a supply of seeds and a hoe on hand, they will plant stuff for you, and harvest for you as well. You can set them to do other kinds of farming as well. It doesn't just have to be normal farming of the wheat. You can also make them do sugarcane work instead. And they will harvest the sugarcane and collect it for you, doing it automated in that way, which is very useful. If you have a messy lot with a lot of grass growing, you can tell a maid to go and clear up the grass for you, and she'll do her best to break it all up and collect whatever seeds come from that process by giving her the grass command. They can also do melon farming, throw tridents, use crossbows, honey, or do cocoa harvesting as well. If your problem is snow instead, you can assign them to clean up snow, and they will do their best to break snow and clean that up for you. Other jobs maids can perform is they can feed you food. If you are hungry, you can put food into their main hand, and then they will feed you food so that you can heal and be automatically fed. And it's very cute and sweet for them to feed you food. You can also animate them to shear sheep for you, so they'll get that done for you. You can have your own wool farm set up. You can also set them up to milk animals. So if they happen to have a bucket, they will milk a cow and get you milk. You can also set them up to breed the animals. So they'll give both animals the wheat required and automatically breed them. So maids are great for doing little jobs here and there. If it comes to adventuring and following around or even leaving them in a dark home, you can give a maid a torch and set her to torch work. And then she will put down torches wherever she's determined it is too dark. And you can also set them to do fishing, which they usually require a little bit more water to work with. And they like to sit on a cushion while doing their fishing. A maid's schedule can be modified, so they'll work at day, they'll work at night, or they'll work at both times. You can set a maid's home by clicking the home button. You can make it so maids can pick things up or not by enabling pickup mode, and you can give them the ride mode enabled to determine if they're allowed to ride things or not. And they are absolutely adorable. Just look at all of them. Not only are they useful, they all have personality and voice and spunk and happiness to them, which makes them great to all be around. Now there are a few special items that you have access to operate with your maids. One of them is this Kappa compass, which you can basically route out an area of which maids will idle, which they'll work with, and where they will sleep. And so you can sort of set up an area for them to have their own saved positions. So this compass can be set up, and you can see there's these auras around it as well. This is the range of the compass, and then this is to supposedly direct them to this is your work area, this is your sleeping area, this is your idling area. The whole idea is to basically direct your maids. The red fox scroll is used to find your maids if they're in unloaded chunks as they stop working. The white fox scroll is used to find the gravestone of your maid. If they've happened to die, it will find out where they died. The bell can be right-clicked on a maid to mark the maid. Then once it is rung, it will summon that maid to your location. These are the basic items for light interaction with maids, but it goes a little bit more than that. There is a whole giant group of items that maids can use and interact with. Here we have our Alex Type 2 maid, and we can armor her with various different pieces of gear and weapons. We can give her a helmet, breastplate, shoes and pants. We can arm her with a sword, and we can give her a shield. We can also throw a banner onto her back, or put cake on her head, or a block, or even strangely enough a lever. You can also give them extra special items like a fire extinguisher, which you as a player cannot use, but maids can. This can be very useful if you're in the nether with a maid, because the fire extinguisher is to extinguish fires on you and the local areas. They have a bunch of different dakumi they can equip to fire projectiles, and they can wear various different sizes of backpack. Starting with the small backpack and right-clicking on the maid, it'll put it onto her back, giving her more space to work with. There's the middle backpack, which is like the middle school backpack, which gives them slightly more room, and then the big backpack, which gives them the most room. The backpacks are crafted at the altar using power points. There are also various different baubles you can give to maids. Different items for different purposes and different uses to give them different buffs and bonuses. Some of these items are just protection items, like the fall protection, fire protection, potion protection, and the projectile protection items. These go into their bauble slots and will protect them from harm. Some other items, like the ultramarine orb excel, give the maid multiple lives, and the nimble fabric will make her teleport like an enderman if she's to be hit by a projectile. Drown protection protects them from drowning. The magnet makes them pick things up at a far distance, and perhaps one of our most important items of the lot is the mute bauble, which when equipped in the bauble slot, stops them from talking. And then there's of course the explosion protection bauble as well. One of the useful baubles is the gap. The gap is linked to a treasure chest, and now that treasure chest is the gapped treasure chest. Then you can right-click the gap and you can interact and control it. You can have it so the maid will take items from the treasure chest and put them into her inventory. So if we put the cake into this treasure chest, the maid should claim it and pull it into her inventory. You can change it so the maid will take items from her inventory and put them into the chest. She should now send items in inventory into the treasure chest. She'll throw things she's holding and anything in slots into the chest. If you don't want this happening, you can edit the whitelist or the blacklist. It has two different filter modes. It has the whitelist filter mode, which means these are items that she will accept and work with, or the blacklist filter mode, which means these items she won't touch. You can also open up a larger config to play with her. And this is a great way for your farming maids to automatically deposit wheat or various other things, your fishing maids, your sugarcane maids, all to put stuff into chests automatically with the gap. Now, you may notice that there are some strange oddities going on in here. If we look at the maids back in this room, these are all fairly Touhou looking maids. They've got this Touhou style, very anime, very Touhou maids. They match the theme. But in this chamber, we have Alex Type 2. We have, I believe, a My Little Pony. We got a Matoron from Bionicle, and we've got this weird wine fox thing that we saw from earlier. And these all come from the unique feature of the mod, which is your maids are customizable. If you go to your maid, and we have an ordinary Touhou maid here, and you right click on her, you can click on change skins. And you'll be able to see the whole list of Touhou base game skins she has, coming from all these different characters. There's also another section of Touhou characters which gives you basically a sandworm coming out of a portal, an angel with giant wings, a witch, and then it goes further. We got the Siho project, and then we got the Goku lib. Then we have the authors and the credits of the various different peoples. And then we've got the Minecraft models, so we've got this basic little Alex, we've got Rana, two characters from the movie that no one cares about. And then we got the Matoron, which actually you won't be able to find unless you click on the Open Model Packs and Download GUI, and then you can download from the website new models. And I have a lot downloaded, but you can download even more. You can just go through and select any ones that are linked up to it. So some Blue Archive and some Hollow whatever that is and some Senko-san. We can get all of them. And then we just click back to the custom skins. As we see here, we've got the selection of Matoron, BVD. We can get Christmas Nero, these characters from whatever show that is. Starfree and Julien Kujo, Kill la Kill, always classy. More My Little Pony. Who's your favorite My Little Pony? Let me know in the comments down below. My favorite little pony, Billy Scratch. That's my favorite pony. Various anime girls. So there is quite the oh my goodness, she has a spear. Yeah, they can be very interesting and various different characters. Now, if you want to transport them, you can take a picture of them and turn them into a photo. And then you can put the photo back down, and so you can carry them off. But there is more to the customization than just that. You can also customize their sound. They have a whole bunch of different sound packs you can work with. A whole bunch of different noises they can make. You can select different sounds. And you can demo the sounds as well. So we could go... So, you can give them a whole bunch of different voices. And those can also all be unlocked on their downloads, under sounds. You can also download updates, and you can download chairs. Chairs we'll get to later. Not the most useful thing, but definitely the creative and pretty things. There's another thing you can do, which is if you take a maid egg, you can rename them with different names. Now, this doesn't really do much unless you name them with a little smiley face, equal, bracket, whatever that thing is, the triangle bracket, and you give it a player name that exists in Minecraft, and then you can create a mini-me. Of course, you do need to tame them, and this can only really be done in creative mode. The eggs can't really be found. But then you can get the extremely surreal image of you carrying yourself. And so if you happen to have your friends, and they're not around, then you can play with them anyways. Just tame this one here. And we'll grab one more. Another cake. And there we go. And now they can all hang out with each other and be incredibly cute together. There you go. Now there's actually a whole variety of other items that can be placed in the world as well. Most of these items and most of the other items are created through ritual. If you press R on them, it'll show you the altar crafting recipe. Doesn't matter where you put them, you just have to have the energy and put them on the altars. Some items can only be found in drops, such as the shrine. And when placed down, you can then place a film in it. Now this film, you notice that this isn't working. So what this film is for from this shrine is if one of our little maids happens to die. I can't kill that one. If one of our little maids happens to die, quite tanky when you yourself hit them. One of them sadly dies from one means or another. You can collect their grave, and it'll give you this burnt out film. Now this film can be used with a ritual to make the reborn maid, which can bring your maid back to life. Or if you happen to find one of these shrines out and about in the world, you can feed it into there and sacrifice a little bit of your health to summon the maid back. Although it does appear to give them a random skin. So the consistency would be nice. You guys just respawned it. There you go, Aaron. You've been reincarnated as Yumemi? Yeah, Yumemi Okazaki. Now you may have noticed that I'm picking them up with a saddle. And that's something you can do. If you right click them on the saddle, you can carry the maids about. And it's very cute. And of course, as I said, there are the placeable items in the world. So, if you want to entertain your maids and make them like you more, as their affections is a thing, you can put down the idle buildings, blocks. So we've got the computer, we've got the bookshelf, and we have the keyboard. And idle maids will hang out and use these items. Some of the other idle items that maids will interact with are the various different game boards. Oh, give those back to me. And the game boards can be set up on the floor for the maids to play games with you. There's 3 different games. There's 5 in a row, chess, and Chinese chess. And you can set a maid to play games, and so it'll go to attempt to play a game with you. And so we can then play 5 in a row, which I'm really bad at, and the AI is really good at. Oh, nice try. I saw that. What the? Where? Damn it! Yeah, we're not going to even try that. You're better than me. You yourself can set up these idle places as well, so you can hang out and read a book, or you can play on the computer. It appears that Keeper is playing on the computer instead right now, so we'll leave him to it. You can give them beds, so they can have beds to sleep on, and you can give them chairs. This is a hot springs chair. doesn't look much like a chair. The chair in its smaller, simpler form is this little cushion, which you can sit on, or the maids can sit on for comfort. And if you shift right click on it, then you can modify it into various different things, making different kinds of seats, like a motorcycle, which is pretty cool. And some people have taken it too far and made a lot of decorations out of them, like a massive shrine and a dining table and the Steve with a backpack for various decorations. Now sometimes it can be really hard to find the hitbox to modify or break them by shift like clicking on them. And so there actually is a item called the chair display, which can just be made in normal crafting table. If you shift with it in your hand, it'll just show you where the chair is. So you can find it and quickly modify it so you're not overwhelmed by everything. Now, those fairies spawn absolutely everywhere, and if you don't want to have your maids have to hunt them, you can place the Granite Era Fox, and its aura will protect you from them, making it so that they do not spawn. And it's also a very pretty decorative block. If you want to feed your maids and give them something activity to do, you can lay out a picnic basket. You can also store food in the picnic basket so that you can have for later as a convenient food storage item, but also if it is filled with food and you put it on the ground, then it lays out food for them and the maids can sit here and eat and it'll improve their affection towards you and it looks adorable. Now, Maid Affection is simply for making their attack stronger and giving them more hit points. So the more affectionate a maid is, the more favorable it is to you, the stronger it becomes. And doing very nice things for them will make them stronger, like setting up a picnic which they can eat at. One final fun thing you can do is use the chisel and a photo of a particularly cute maid. We'll take a picture of this cutie. And you put this into your offhand, and you have the chisel in your main hand. You can then go to blocks of clay, and you can carve them. So you can get a little statue, you can make a medium statue, you can get a big statue, and you can get a very big statue, which is pretty fun. So there's actually a lot of uses of maids, both decorative and non-decorative. And there's one other very strange thing you can do with them as well, which is if you happen to have Player 2 installed, then you can activate it on your maids and play with the AI in the game of Minecraft with a maid, which is very odd indeed. We're going to go to AI, and she is set up for it already. Player 2 model is Sophie, English, Player 2 type chat, and if we're looking at her we press T, we'll send our messages to the LM model. So we'll say, "Hi, maid, how are you?"
Hello, master. I am functioning optimally. How may I assist you?
Okay, I really don't like that. I don't like it calling me master. That's... Nope. And there's one final really fun thing you can do with your maid, which is it requires the magic broom. So we'll go to our magic broom flying site, and this mod adds a magic broom, which is what the maids are flying in on Touhou to fight those fairies from the video game. And so if we go to our launch facility, usually used for missiles, that's what the last units used it for. They stole, I think, nuclear missiles from the American government. Then you can put your maid down, and you can get onto the broom. Of course, the broom doesn't fly unless a maid is riding it as well. There we go. Now the maid's on the broom. Now I can fly, and we just look in a direction, and it will go in that direction. So right now we are looking up, and we are going on up. And if we press forward, we'll fly forward with it. And of course we need the maid to fly with, otherwise it doesn't work. So this is a very cute mod. It's very nice, very sweet. It has some very cool potential as well, for automation-wise. It's very cute looking. You can find these maids out and about in the world. It's great for an anime setting. It's just got a lot of nice qualities to it. I think it's one of the cutest mods in Minecraft. They make very cute sounds. It's very pretty looking. It's also very useful, and it could be quite cool to play with. You can play with it in a much more serious setting or less serious. It's kind of a mix of those things. It's fairly balanced. The maids can actually be quite overpowered if you get a lot of them with high affection and arm them with weapons. And they are excellent at automating, and they're also rather low effort. The AI edition could be interesting if you figure out how to run Player 2 better than I did, but I wasn't all that interested in learning Player 2 as it's like a new add-on to the thing. There's so many models to be added. You can also add, if you didn't notice, oops, we're landing, you can give them the Y user skins as well, if you can figure out how to make those run. And so you can get yourself a bunch of little maids to add to your anime gameplay, which is very fun. Very fun indeed. Oh yes, and this map is based off the Yogslab map, obviously, and it was put together and made by Spooker Boy. So I'll leave a description in there if you want to download it, and unless I get a cease and desist from the Yogscast team themselves, I'm going to keep using the Yoglab, because I actually think it's kind of excellent for what I do. So, till then, thank you, and goodbye.